Prophecies, which came out in 1555, he says that there will be a huge earthquake off the coast of Japan in 2024, which will cause a tsunami that will destroy homes and kill hundreds of people. That's a pretty bold prediction, but it's so true that we can't help but pay attention. He predicted a long list of events that will change the world. In it, the death of Queen Elizabeth II and Hitler's rise to power are shown. You already know that both of these things happened, and it's pretty scary to think that more of the same are going to happen this year. Just who is Nostradamus? Let's look into this some more. Let's learn about Nostradamus and what will happen in 2024. Between 1503 and 1566, this French astrologer lived. His full name was Michel de Nostradamus, but most people just called him Nostradamus. Les Prophéties, his book, came out in 1555. The book was full of predictions. There were 942 beautiful quatrains. It predicted what would happen in the future. He was really worried that the church would try to shut down his astrology practice. There was more than one language used to write the predictions. It had parts of Latin, Greek, Italian, and Provence. In these languages, the words were put together to make a message. People who knew these languages would be the only ones who could read the statements and figure out what they really meant. It's also not simple. He accurately predicted many events that would happen in the world, and many people are sure that he can continue to do this. It is very important to know what it really means. He predicted the deaths of famous people and a lot of natural and man-made catastrophes, unquestionable proof of Nostradamus's predictions. It's shocking to see how many of his statements have come true so far. As one of his statements came true, the Great Fire of London happened. The blood of the just will be lacking in London, burnt up in the fire of 66. The ancient lady will topple from her high place. Many of the same sect will be killed. On September 2nd, 1666, there was the Great Fire of London. It began as a very small fire. In the end, the fire that started in Thomas Farriner's bakery on Pudding Lane spread to the whole city. It's not even the craziest prediction, though. Hitler's land in Europe was another such prediction. A poor family will give birth to a child in the west of Europe. If someone can use their tongue to charm a large group of people, their fame will spread to the east. There will be beasts crossing the rivers that are very hungry, and most of the fight will be against Hister. The Great One will be put in an iron box, while the child of Germany doesn't notice anything. Hitler led the Nazi Party with his speech-making skills. The name Hister is not a mistake. It means something special. It refers to the Danube, which is where the real Hitler was born. Can you see how they are alike? Do you think Nostradamus already predicted what would happen in the past and what would happen in the future? Nostradamus then predicted what occurred in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, just as he thought things couldn't get any scarier. The heavenly dart will go farther. It's a big deal that death is in the talks. The stone in the tree brought down the proud country. Reports of a monster human cause purge and then death. Both Hiroshima and Nagasaki were hit by 2 atomic bombs from the United States. Even though it was the end of World War II, no one thought this very bad move would happen. Lots of people were hurt by radiation, and the effects are still being felt today. But let's stop for a moment. What will happen in 2024, though? You might want to stay put and pay close attention, because we're about to talk about what will happen this year. We can see that this year will be different from others now that we can see into the future. Nostradamus made a lot of statements that will come true this year, so we need to be ready. And now for the first prediction. The earth will become even drier, and there will be big rains. 2024 will be a terrible year when it comes to light. We wouldn't have time to get back on our feet after these disasters. They will keep coming back one after the other. We would not be able to get water because of earthquakes and volcanic events. the lack of water would hit us, and this would change society. Because of these mishaps, there will be famine and drought. It will be hard for people to get water and food. This is where things get even stranger than that. There are no students, abbots, or monks to learn from. Candle wax will be a lot cheaper than honey. The price of wheat is so high that it makes people angry. His fellow man to eat while he was sad. The countries that are doing well will see a big drop in their finances. Unrest will split the country in two. As a result, people would farm and move to places with more water. It is better to be ready than to cry then. As states fight over water, they will also fight with each other. That's not even the end of it. Now things start to get interesting. His other prediction was that Putin's health would get worse. This year, Vladimir Putin's health will be in danger. The health of this Russian leader will get worse, and he will have a rough year. The prediction also talks about a bad guy who will come after them and be born under the same Chinese zodiac sign. Someone close to Putin would take advantage of this. In both the United States and other countries, he will try to take power away from Putin. It's going to change. It will be someone close to Putin who does something like this. The situation will become less stable after the change in leadership. But now things begin to change. The change in the world economy is what Nostradamus saw in his strange vision for 2024. As wealth and power start to shift, give doubt in leaders' currencies a voice, he says. There are new possibilities coming back in around the bend as people look for answers. Which country, though, will change the world in 2024? This is what Nostradamus said would happen. India will be the country that changes the world's politics and finances the most. There will be big changes on the world stage, and they will affect our future. Dragon Year 2024 is another name for the year 2024. This year will bring lots of courage, trust, and money. The internet world will not be controlled by one group. There are new chances ahead. That's not all, though. Now things are going to get really interesting. For me, Nostradamus's most interesting prediction is that there is a society on other planets. These beings are keeping a close eye on our planet's path, and we will make touch with them. By the end of 2024, there will be a shaky peace. Do you think the aliens would be willing to help us? Nostradamus predicted that a psychic link would be made between all people on the planet. People will be able to communicate better with each other through their minds. It's not necessary for them to talk about their feelings and wants. It will be easy for them to work together. People will be more careful and fight less. People will get together to love and support each other. Take a moment to look at two more important lines. In 2024, Nostradamus predicted there will be a navy year. He states, "Red adversaries will become pale with fear, putting the great ocean in dread." An attack on Taiwan by China is what many people think this song is about. China has a red sign. The King of Isles would not rule for too long, he also predicted. He then says, "A new king will be crowned, and for a long time the earth will be at peace." King Charles III could be the King of the Isles. People will say mean things about him because he is dating Camilla. A lot of people remember Princess Diana and believe that Camilla took Charles away from her. The death of the Queen of England was predicted by Nostradamus a long time ago. Pope Francis is the holy leader of the Catholic Church right now. He could be changed. He will be replaced by someone else. This is where things really shock me, though. Following this, Nostradamus says, "A very old pontiff will die, and his place will be filled by a Roman of a good age. He will be said to weaken the sea, but he will sit and bite for a long time. A younger pope would take over, and power might go down one way or another. There's a chance that the Catholic Church's power will start to drop." This sounds a lot like St. Malachi's warning about the last pope, doesn't it? It's possible that Nostradamus knew a lot about science and the stars. Among other languages, he spoke Latin and Greek very well. He was very interested in astronomy and learned a lot about it. All of these statements were made by the famous doctor. A lot of people are sure that all of this will happen. The truth will come out in time, though. We need to start getting ready right away. He got in trouble for all the statements he made, but that didn't stop him. It was his faith that led him to do what he thought was right. He left this world in the year 1566. We have a heritage of words that are hard to understand. There are many mysteries in life, and Nostradamus told us all about them. There are a lot of problems that can come up when you try to figure out what Nostradamus wrote. 1 in a million people will be born like Nostradamus. They get the ability to see into the future and make predictions. Although most people believe in him, there is also a small group that doesn't. Neither the forecasts nor he. They believe the lines only contain things that he made up in his mind. You need to decide if you really believe these statements. Do you think all of this could happen this year? We don't know for sure. Only time will tell. One thing we could do is look at what happened in the past and see how closely it matches his statements. People will understand that what Nostradamus predicted came true up to this point. But there are 2 more predictions that we can't figure out, and we believe they are very important. Let's look at it. When they fight, the young lion will win over the older one. He will stab his eyes through a golden cage in one fight. He died a cruel death after 2 cuts joined together. Songs, chants, and demands from the slave population, while princes and lords are locked up. In the future, these will be seen as holy prayers by brainless jerks.